Hey Martin, sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened.
um, how to say studio situation. I'm using an iPad, and then I'm using my Wi-Fi or hotspot or what do you call it. Um, so it could be something with that, and but we'll test this out second take here. And I have to give a shout out to Chris that I sent for my recent previous interview with Matthew Pollard, and we were talking about you said about this syncing thing, um, and then recently now it was about how long you have been in your process, if you still call it a beta or how far you have come. So you could do a recap on that.
Sure. Yeah, we started almost exactly a year ago and considered 2015 to be our beta process. And so, right at the end of last year, we officially started charging for the service and considered ourselves then to be out of beta. But as I was saying earlier, I really feel like we're always in a beta process and learning
Yep.
and growing and changing and wanting to take feedback from people and really turn RINGR into something that is somewhat led by the market and by people who use the product on a daily basis and can help us develop things that'll be useful that we've never thought of. And so we want to be a company that's growing and changing and learning. And so I, in my head, will probably always consider us to be in beta. But for official purposes, after we started charging, we took the beta tag
Yeah,
off.
that's good because I mean some of I remember like email services and others been beta for several years uh,
Sure.
for even big companies, and not so many remember that. I mean, the Skype and other voice on over internet or how we call it VoIP, internet protocol. Uh, they have been a long transformation and long development, and at the beginning many years ago it had some things to how do you say improvement, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've gone a long way. So what I like, and it's my style, that you could use it in a handy dandy way, but as I said, it's always beta. If you want mention it, you could say it's also depending on all the, I mean, operators and what's happening with new versions of operating systems and other things like that. And maybe
Yeah,
not
for sure.
complicate it too much, but I mean, I'm looking for myself. I am using now a pretty simple headset and plug it into my iPad, and but in the future you could plug in an like a USB microphone with a lighting connection switch. But do you want to tell that story? What happened there? That
Yeah, well, we had the Lightning port mics ready to go and working and sounding great, and then Apple went and changed in one of their 8 point something operating systems. I don't remember which one, and basically completely changed how apps, specifically ours, interfaced and interacted with the Lightning port. And so we kind of had to start from scratch on that. And we're currently developing a desktop version of the platform, and that will allow you, obviously, to plug any microphone you want into your computer and record that way. And so we're going to tackle that first, and then we'll get back to trying to navigate the problem of interfacing the Lightning port microphones with the RINGR app in terms of the mobile devices.
that's great to hear because I mean I like to have it on the go, or you could record when you when you have your iPad and headset and so on in a backpack or something like that. Maybe on a
Yeah.
conference, and but you're talking with somebody else at the other distance or whatever. So, but also the desktop version would be great. Would it be like because that's my personal view about all this editing software and so on. Often it could be, I mean, catering to hi-fi people and professional into music, and lots of buttons and different things, equalizer and other things that you could do with it. But for audio and others, of course, you want it to sound great and a good listening, so you could listen to the conversation. But you don't need so many bells and whistles in a way. But I could say in a parenthesis here, when I got the first now, I saw that you could have different file formats. You could have it in mono, stereo, FLAC, whatever, all kind of different versions. And for me, as a in a way layman, but I'm starting to get to know some of these different technical things also. That could maybe be a good thing for you as a thought leader in this area, because you have a long, extensive background in this area, as you said, as a radio talker and other things like that.
Yeah, we want to provide everything you need and nothing you
Mm.
don't. And that's easier said than done, to try to find sort of a balance between giving a variety of file formats, but not overwhelming people with options so that they feel like they're never going to get the right one for them. And so we've tried to create a few custom settings. So if you're just a basic podcaster and go, I just want the basic MP3 mixdowns every time, there will be a way to select just that. So every time you do a call, that's what you'll get. You don't have to worry about anything else. However, we've left room open for people who maybe are a little more sophisticated or are editing in an Adobe Audition or a Pro Tools kind of editing software, to give them a variety of file types and a variety of bit rates and the split track so that they can manipulate and edit as they need to. And so our goal is to try to provide what we can to make life easier, but not so much that it makes it more complex.
Well, that's great. So, and maybe in the future that could be also a thing that you're after looking after the platform and the microphone things, also with some kind of editing, because right now you have to put that in your workflow process also. And many of these services out there are great, but they are, I mean, in a way old, and you have to find it on some kind of obscure site or so on,
Yeah,
or a site that, I mean, I use this Ophonic that I liked, but where you have it's a couple of hours, I think, but after that it costed I don't know exactly, but I mean it's more for very professional or thing people who are audiophiles and so on. But I
right.
like I have learned a bit about the process, and but it took also some time to do it, so that's the thing. So I wonder what that could be in the future. But maybe we should tell the listener that also, that you could go with the free version and get an audio copy there, right? And then you, with the premium, you could get all these different ones.
Yeah, we have two different levels at the moment that could expand to three here in the fairly near future. But at the moment, we have basic and we have premium. In basic, you can record a call, and there's no length limit on that. You'll get an MP3 of sort of a medium quality, and it'll be a mix down. So both sides will be on the same mono
Mm.
file. Um, and that's for free. However, if you want to get a variety of different file types, not just MP3, but have access to OGG and FLAC, if you want a variety of bit rates, if you want stereo files, the split track downloads, unlimited storage, eventually the desktop when it comes, and conference calling, all that will be under our premium plan. But the beauty is right now you can test the free, see what you think, see if you like it, and then if you want even better quality and way more options as to what you can do with your audio and have us store it, and at least a backup copy on our end for you, then the premium's the way to go.
Mm. So that's great to hear, and I will get into a segue of the halftime here soon about the trade principle. Uh, and when you have this, because it's a value, it's a service that you provide, and it's worth something to pay for. And lots of, as we now have heard about research and development, and lots of thoughts into it, and big plans for the future. So that will be interesting to hear your thoughts about the exchange of ideas and services and products and so on a free market.
Yeah, it's we've worked really hard to try to balance giving too much away for free and knowing what to charge for and how much to charge for. And I think that's the challenge for most any business, is to figure out sort of where that line is. And so we're working on it. We know we're providing a valuable service. We know it's worth something to pay for, and we've really been pleased so far with the response.
And I must say that, and I sometimes jokingly, but also seriously say that I'm a poor capitalist. I'm for the system, and I want to pay for it. And then you have, I mean, the discussion that a long time ago, not maybe so long time, but the long tail and the freemium versions and so on. And it was funny when the author that talked about freemium, he wanted to charge for his book.
Right.
And then he had to come up with a PDF or something that was so-called for free. But as we know, it's nothing like a free lunch, but it's no free lunch out there. So what I like is and that was a discussion on a podcast, a roundtable with Ray and others. Many people are doing this as a hobby or interest,
Yep.
but want to cover their cost in some way. And it's interesting when I mean, I was attracted that it could be simple to start podcasting, and then you start developing in it, and you say, oh, I want to have that mic, or I want to have that, or maybe I should have that too, or a new service that I want to test out. And then you also want to, I mean, maybe get something for it, because you put time and energy in it, and people are used to this so-called freemium. So do you want to tell about what that could be for us who are being here promoting it a bit and being ambassadors and want to spread the good word?
Yeah, we have an affiliate program that will be launching very, very soon. I don't know the exact date, nor do I know the exact date that this podcast is going to air for you, Martin, but we are very, very close to having an affiliate program up and running. And so we want to do two things with that. One, we want you to be able to make some money as a podcaster and as somebody with an audience who has people who would be naturally interested in RINGR. So we want to somehow benefit you and say thank you for pointing people our way. But we also want your audience to be able to save some money on the product and try it out and see what they think. And so what we've set up is a program that will allow your listeners to sign up for 1, 3, 6, or 12 months of RINGR, depending on how long they want to go, and save either 10, 15, 20, or 25% on the price to do that. When they sign up through your link, assuming you were to become an affiliate, they save that percentage, and then you get some money on your end as our way of saying thank you for pointing people our direction. And we feel we've put a really great plan in place. Affiliates can make anywhere from $2 if someone signs up for a month to $15 if someone signs up for a year. And we aren't shy about sharing those numbers. That's how the world works. And so that's totally all right that people know that. But, just a podcaster who's trying to pay for their costs, if you get two people to sign up for RINGR for a year, you're going to make $30, which, that'll pay for a number of services that you might be choosing to use, or in a couple of months could pay for a decent microphone or, whatever your costs may be. So we feel like we've put a really good plan together, and we can't wait. We've had so many people ask about affiliate plans. And so we're very, very close, and can't wait to get that launched.
That's great to hear, and so I look forward to hear about that. And also, when I looked into the back office, you could say, you see how many, if you have a premium, is it a size or amount of time, or is it pieces of recordings per month?
It is unlimited, so you can go as long as you want and as often as you want, all for that same price.
Yeah, because I saw something about like a number that I've done 3 or 4. Now I think it will be a fifth recording, but then it was /16 or something like that. But it maybe, or is it year 16 maybe kanske?
It could be. The other thing might be scheduled interviews versus completed interviews. So
Okay, yeah,
if you've scheduled some and not done them, just you were
yeah,
testing it out, the 16, I think, was the number you've scheduled, and 5 would be the number that you've completed and
okay,
uploaded.
good. Yeah, and so I mean, I say that I like the layout and the usability and so on, and it's pretty easy to understand. But you have to play around with it a bit, so that's good to know. And I think that could be a good advantage for you also, because sometimes of these services you have this freemium, but I mean when you start and you pretty quickly see that you have to upgrade.
Right.
Maybe it could be, I mean, very much so you don't need it, so to speak. I mean, I use SoundCloud or Premium because after 3 hours you have to pay.
Right.
But if you listen only to music, and they are catering more to musicians and music listeners,
Yep.
I mean that's okay. But I use it as a distribution channel. I wouldn't, I mean, put everything on that. I like the player, I like how you could embed it and so on, and I like the, you could say, the community aspect of it, or you could get followers and comments and so on. But I have like a service like Libsyn that I'm very pleased with, and there I have lots of space, but I want to have this standalone app also.
Sure.
So I want to give possibilities and alternatives for listeners to 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 listen in to very convenient, at very convenience and so on, and in different ways. And maybe that could be an idea for if somebody wants to support this show. They could go to egonetcast.com/support, and in the near future I will put up the affiliate link also. Do you want to tell, or should we wait and see if it's an external service, or is it through you for RINGR.com?
Yeah, it is all through us, and so you will, when you sign up to become an affiliate, you will pick your affiliate code. So just for the sake of our conversation, maybe it's Martin. So
Yeah.
you would be able to tell people, okay, go to ringr.com/Martin to sign up for RINGR. Or you could say, go to my website, and in the show notes for today, you'll see the link to RINGR to sign up and save up to 25%. You can choose how you do that. You can do both. We have provided, when you sign up, you will also have access to several different banners and widgets that you can drop directly into your blog or to your website that are HTML linked directly to your affiliate page. So we've tried to make it real easy for you to share that information. If you, again, want to speak it and just say ringr.com/Martin or whatever
Yeah.
you decide to choose, that's totally up to you. But whatever's best for sending people our way, that's probably the way you want to go.
Yeah, that's neat, because then I could talk to the guy who made my jingle, Jim Johnson, that you could include something like that. So that's great to hear that that you have that service and plans for the future, and it could be that it doesn't have to be a podcast. It could be somebody that want to record conversation in a high quality way, in an easy way, because you get the email and links, and you could play around with it.
Yeah, we're up to any. What I've said to our team on numerous occasions is, if there are other people, anybody who wants to share RINGR with their tribe, their following, their listeners, great. If they're in podcasting, fine. If they're broadcasting, fine. If they are plumbers, fine. It doesn't matter to me. If they're passionate enough about our product for whatever reason and want to bring more people to us, then we think they should be compensated for their time, and so we want to offer that program to anybody who wants to use it.
That's great. And could talk a little bit about there on the future plans and so on. I would, in the near future, have a talk on future trends, and look to joke a bit in the crystal ball in the near future, like 5 years.
Yeah.
And I will, as a full disclosure, I will mention your services, because I don't think so many know about it yet, at least not here in Sweden, Europe, etc. And what I like, my talk is like, is the podcasting going more into mobile area,
Mm-hmm.
and also another thing is, you will be podcasting as Rob was talking about, micro network, like several podcasts, small podcasts maybe get together and so on a
Right, sure.
niche things. And then you have what I liked with the blog talk radio. I like the biggest advantage, I think, is that you could listen to podcasts when you want, when you have time, if you're walking with cat or dog or whatever.
Right.
But also you have this that you probably have experienced then in in sports and in radio and so on, and sports radio, the live element, as you say, or the call, the viewer, or maybe you say the listener, that have an opinion about something or want to have a comment or adding their 2 cents. This live element in podcasting, for example, Blog Talk Radio had that you could do a call-in number.
Right.
Now I have many things at the same time, but because you see that with Blab, you see that in Periscope, with live thing that is for a short time and maybe a bit exclusive, you could say.
Yep.
How do you see that in the future? If you would guess a bit, what will happen in this space?
Well, we've had a number of people ask us about, are we going to try to get into that space and stream these conversations as they're happening? We put them together on the back end and then stream them. And we can do that and may do that in the future. I think there are a couple of different ways people tend to be going. The Meerkat, Periscope, Blab, YouTube model, which is based more on active discussion. People doing something right now, and their draw for their products and their platforms is you can join something that's happening right now. And those are great. It's really, really cool what these companies have been doing. And then I think there's another subset who are really going after the, okay, we're not going to bring you in on the process necessarily. We're going to put it together more like an artist and present. So rather than being a part of the discussion, we're actually going to sort of like an NPR public radio model here in the United States, where they spend a lot of money and a lot of time pulling information from all over the place. The Serial podcast is a good one. The Startup podcast is another good one, as an example, where they spend time gathering audio, gathering information, gathering content, and then putting it together more like a movie or a documentary, and then presenting it to people. And so I see RINGR as certainly at the moment in more of that space, where we're going to help organizations like this do what they do better and allow them to cultivate this content, have it sound great, and then they can use it in whatever way they see fit.
Well, that's an interesting take on it, and I must say that I listen to the startup podcast. I'm very interested and impressed, and it's fascinating to hear this transparency, how they talk about the business and so on. On the other hand, of course, as a more like an amateur podcaster, you could say, doing it as a hobby, but see it as a platform for other things. It could be a bit stressful also. I mean, you want to have everything in place and order and the workflow again. So I think your platform could work very well with that also.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. We don't want to pigeonhole ourselves into
No.
only one thing. But as we start, we think we're going to be more in the pre-recorded space, and then if we can, over time, begin streaming these conversations sort of as they happen to some sort. Maybe it's our website or our app, or to another one, and just do it more real time, although on a delay. That's certainly a possibility. So we'll sort of see how that all plays out and what the interest in doing it is, and we'll go from there. Could be fun to see sort of what the market dictates.
Yeah, but you're saying also what the market is dictating and saying. Have you got any comments from your so-called colleagues and so on in the mainstream media?
We have, I haven't had anybody in mainstream media ask for that live component of what we do yet. We've had some people who, individual podcasters such as yourself who say, "Ooh, it might be cool if," and I totally agree. But if we're talking with larger news organizations or podcast organizations, most of them are still in the, hey, we don't have a good way to record an interview right now. We are looking for a better way to do that, and you guys seem to provide that. So how can we make that happen? That's really where we're hearing most of the questions now, and so where we're focusing our time on development and support. And then once we feel like we've sort of got a really super stable footwork for that, then we can start moving in some other direction.
And I personally think that's a sound idea, and you should go forward with that. And I look forward to test it out more here in future. I wonder, we talked about books and gadgets and so on, and you sent me an email about that. It was some kind of pad. What was that?
Oh, the item that's sort of my
Yeah.
favorite gadget right now. Yeah, it's essentially a way to put my phone on the dashboard of my car. It holds my phone. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Hold on a second. I will get the exact name of it. It is called the iOttie, IOTTIE, and it attaches to the dashboard of my car. And I've got the 6 Plus, so it's a little bit bigger than some of the other phones, at least the other Apple phones. But I don't like having to reach into the seat next to me or into the cup holder to grab the phone. I like being able to have it sort of up on my dashboard. And so this is a quick release, quick attach holder for my phone so that I can connect it to the car and be hands-free and yet have instant access to it when I need it.
That's a safety issue also. And I will have a cliffhanger here, maybe do a Chris Brogan say psh, psh, something like that here about beverage again and a cup holder. But you have to wait some couple of more minutes here. So we talked about that, the future plans and so on, and it's been fascinating to hear you, Soren, that you're talking so openly about it. And anything else you want to talk about this space in the podcasting area? But you, because what I understand, you have lots of ideas and thoughts about it, and also doing presentation on this topic.
Yeah, I think it will be, as far as RINGR is concerned, we know we can do this with audio. We're excited about the potential of doing it with video down the line. That is a big undertaking, but we know it's possible. Certainly the concept applies, and so that's exciting for us. The conference call market is very exciting for us as well. And then, desktop is right around the corner, so you'll be able to connect literally to anyone, anywhere in the world on any device. It can be phone to computer, it can be tablet to laptop, and any combination thereof. We're really excited about getting to a point where we can do that.
Do you have any suggestions on future guests or topics or book tips?
Ooh, well, I do have a book tip off the top of my head, and I've used this one before. And it's not a business book per se, but I've taken it to heart when it comes to my dealings with customers and investors. The book is called Love Does, and it's by a guy by the name of Bob Goff, Goff. And it really just shows how Bob in his life has loved people in pretty remarkable ways and thinking outside the box and trying to not be average when it comes to his interactions with people. In fact, this is a best-selling book not only in the United States but around the world, and Bob, being the guy he is, put his phone number in the back of it and just said, "Hey, I'm available." And so that's just sort of the the remarkable way that he thinks and talks about interacting with people and loving them in uncommon ways. And as I deal with our customers and clients and investors and anybody I come in contact with, I try to keep those principles in front of me. And so again, I'd recommend it. It's called Love
And when you say that
Does.
about the phone number, because now we have done this through your service, and you often you talk about phone numbers you want to talk to with somebody or Skype. Will that be, I mean, maybe a change of behavior that we said you send an email and an invitation, and then you connect the two parties through an app? I mean, it's a different way of doing it, right?
It is. Right now, we're really focused on the interview market, and we know that when you're interviewing someone that you've probably never met before, um, you don't necessarily have key pieces of information for them, nor do they necessarily want to give them to you. But almost always, in my experience in the industry, you set up these interviews with an email. And so that's where we've started the process. Every RINGR user, once you actually sign up for the service, will have a RINGR name. And down the line, as more and more people develop their RINGR names, similar to a Skype name, you'll be able to just connect direct with people that way. But at the moment, we think the email invite is the way to go. That allows the person you're talking to say yes or no, to not give away any personal information, and hopefully make the process really, really simple.
Because it's different in business culture. I mean, here in Europe, it's pretty common with put out your like mobile phone number and so on, and call whatever and whenever. So and in others, it's more
Yeah, sure.
to ask for, I mean, that kind of permission. So it's an interesting take on that, and how you could build it, how easy to be to connect in that way. So it was interesting to hear your thoughts on about that. And do you have any like giveaways or some interesting thing that you can give to the listeners and readers and so on and fans of your service and this show?
Well, a couple of things that we can do. One, we just talked about the freemium at RINGR, and so anybody who wants to try RINGR can download it right now from the App Store or Google Play, and use all the basic features for free. And we hope you will see what it sounds like and hear the difference. I would say that the other thing that we can do that we talked about a little earlier is the affiliate program, where we want to save people who listen to your show anywhere from 10 to 25% on what we're doing. And so, Martin, I can promise you will be at the top of our list for getting the affiliate program done, and hopefully, perhaps even by the time this show airs, we can have those links available on your website so they can follow and start saving on the premium versions of RINGR.
And thank you very much for that, Tim. And thanks for your time. And it was interesting how we connected. But I listened to Libsyn feed, and then we talked back and forth, and then also the scheduling that I used virtual assistant, artificial intelligence called X.IE. Pretty fascinating service. So it's good to use technology in a good way. And at the end here, you of course you have to plug your site, and then I have this hanger because in the Twitter profile you said that you are a Dr. Pepper fan. Do you get free cans from Dr. Pepper, or tell me about your fascinating about this beverage, and I will tell a bit about my kind of beverage. But I must say, Dr. Pepper is something special. I mean, I studied and
Sure.
worked in America, and when I first tested it, it was this peppery because I like spice things, and this it had some kind of peppery taste to it.
Yes. It does have a bit of a kick to it. I wish I got
Yeah.
free Dr. Pepper from them. Maybe one of these days, maybe somebody, the right person, will hear this and can go, you know what, I can get him some free Dr. Pepper. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, I buy my own. I just went and got some yesterday. It started back when I was about 11. A good friend of mine used to drink it, and I'd never really had it before and tried it. And it seems to be that people either love it or they hate it. And I happen to be one of the people who loved it. And so, really, ever since, I've been a fan, and I've collected some of the old bottles. It's actually the oldest soft drink company in America. It's older than Coke, and has been around since the late 1880s, I believe. And so it's just sort of become a thing for me. And I always have. I've had to switch to the lower calorie versions as I've gotten older. Um, but I still love it, and chances are, if you see me, you'll catch me with one in my hand.
Yeah, that's funny to hear, and it's interesting stories. I will talk more with you about that also, about different types of beverages and so on, and soft drinks, or maybe you say pop. So,
Yes, pop. That would be the Midwestern way to say it.
yeah. So my favorite beverage is tea,
Oh, okay.
and rice on tea, and that will be some segment in my podcast also for the future. So it's interesting. You find that in some energy drinks, and I drink green tea called matcha. That's a powder form
Okay.
of green tea with leaves and also the whole plant, and it has some very good ingredients and health benefits and other things, and it's also giving you a kick because that's
Right.
what you get often from soft drinks, pops, energy drinks, and so on. But as you said, with especially with Dr. Pepper, it has this you could say peculiar taste or different
Yeah.
taste that we either like or not like so much. And that's probably with the same with the. Is Jolt Cola still around in your area?
I don't know of it, but perhaps it is. I don't think I've seen it though.
No, because that when it came to Europe and so on, it was the double amount of caffeine or caffeine that was
Oh wow. Okay.
for.
Oh, Joel.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know what? I have not seen that in a long time. Um, It may still be around, but I have not seen it in quite some time.
yeah. So, yeah, that's good. So I'm getting thirsty now, so I will take a sip of tea here now. So with that, please, if you have any ending notes, and then again say where listeners and so on could find you.
Sure, you can download us for free on the App Store and Google Play. Just search Ringer, and it's spelled RINGR. On Google Play, there is one other one with a similar name that we are working on right now to try to keep that from happening, but we're the orange one if you're looking for us on Google Play. Ringer.com is a good place to start. You can send email, you can sign up for the service, you can get all the details about who we are and what we do, and that's RINGR.com.
Great. Thank you very much, Tim.
Well, thank you, Martin. I appreciate being on the show, and really, really thank you for testing out the product and being willing to use it. It's been fun.
Cheers.